You're here with Hannah Weir. I'm a multi-passionate creative, podcaster, speaker, and a certified meditation and mindfulness teacher. This podcast is designed to inspire a new way of being, living in the moment with more ease and alignment with our true selves. I'm on a wild journey of self-discovery and love, and I'm here to share that journey with you so that you too can fully embrace and express all that you are. Thank you so much for being here, and I really hope you enjoy the episode. Hello, welcome back to the podcast. Welcome to my channel. If you're watching on YouTube, welcome to anyone who's listening. You are here with Hannah, and I'm here with my gorgeous little cat Nala. She's curled up next to me, so sweet. If you're watching the video, you'll be able to see, but she's just been the sweetest little angel sitting next to me. I've been recording a few episodes in a row because I'm going away soon, so I wanted to kind of build up a bit of a backlog. And interestingly, this is something that I will kind of touch on in this conversation today, because I'm going to be talking about what it is like to be a manifestor in human design. But before we get into that, let's pause and take a nice deep breath, inhaling through the nostrils and exhaling through the mouth. Let it all go. Let's do that again. Inhaling and exhaling. So, what is it like being a manifestor in human design? What a fun topic. I'm so excited to talk about this. I love talking about human design. It's one of my favorite things to talk about. I have done a full episode on my journey with human design and how it has transformed my life, how it has changed my life in so many ways. So I don't actually have a video of that because that was before I started filming videos for YouTube of this podcast, but it is available on my Spotify and on Apple Podcasts. So I'll have that linked below if you want to go check that out. You may have already listened to it, and if you did, I'll probably repeat a few things because I'm going to explain a little bit about myself and my chart, but I'm going to focus on what it's like to be a manifestor in human design. So if human design is something entirely new to you, then welcome. It is the journey of a lifetime. Seriously, it has been the most profound thing that I have come across in my life to date. It is a system that is, I won't go into too much detail, but it's a system that is a synthesis of a number of other systems like astrology, the Kabbalah, the Chinese I Ching, and it's all about energy. It's all about how we use our energy. It's all about the different expressions of energy, the different gifts that we have, some of the shadow things that may come up for us in our journey, and really how we came into this lifetime to interact with the world. And so in human design, you have the 5 energy types, and manifestors are one of the more rare types. So we're about 8 or 9% of the population, I believe. And so we're quite misunderstood. A lot of people don't really know how to deal with manifestors. A lot of people can find our energy triggering, or they often refer to it as repelling, like we have a repelling aura. I don't like that. I get it. I do understand it, and I can see how that plays out in my life. I can see how I do sometimes repel people, but I think it's more of a protective thing. It's more of it helps us to really discern like who our people are, and also it's for the benefit of other people. Like we just draw in the people who need to hear what we have to share, or who need to be impacted by us in the way that we're here to impact them. Manifestors are here to make an impact. And this is because we have a really strong voice. What makes us manifestors is that we have a motor center connected to the throat. And this is where this manifesting energy comes from. Interestingly for me, my heart, which is my authority. I'm an ego manifestor. Again, this is very, very rare. There's not a lot of ego manifestors out there, but my heart is not directly connected to my throat center. So I have two channels that make this connection. I have the channel of initiation, the 2551, and I have the channel of inspiration, the 18. So my heart makes its way into the identity center and then comes out the throat. And this is how I express my manifestor energy. And understanding this has been a big part of my journey as a manifestor, because I haven't actually related to a lot of the information out there about manifestors, because a lot of the information says that manifestors are here to be bold, to make a big impact, to initiate people, to shake things up. And that is true. I definitely see that happening through what I share. I definitely see how I impact and initiate others. But my energy is a lot more subtle because I don't have that direct connection between my heart and my throat. So it is more subtle, it is more creative, it is more mystical. This channel of initiation is very mystical. And that is really about going through these initiations. Life initiates me. And I notice that through those initiations that I go through, I then have an impact. That's how I have an impact on other people. I initiate other people. And I'll give you an example. When I got divorced, I noticed a ripple effect that had. There was a girl that I knew who was also in an unhappy relationship, and she ended up leaving that marriage. She was also married. She ended up getting a divorce after I kind of took the lead and did that in my own life. And then I had another friend who was engaged, and I remember her calling me and asking for advice because she too was unhappy and wanted to leave her relationship. So I noticed the ripple effect of me kind of going first, what that had on other people. It was almost like other people then saw that, oh, well, if she can do it, I can too. So that was kind of a real life example of how I noticed my manifestor impact. What else can I tell you about being a manifestor? Well, they say that the manifestor, not self, again, I don't really like this term, the not self, but this is kind of the sign that you're out of alignment. And they say the manifestor, not self theme is anger. And I definitely feel this. And in fact, since I've come to learn about human design and come to learn about my energy type being a manifestor, I've come to embrace the fact that anger is just a sign for me that there's something in the way, there's some sort of resistance or some sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, I'm just meeting some form of resistance that is getting in the way of me taking the kind of action that I want to take. And I notice it coming up, this like strong feeling of anger. And I used to suppress that. I used to think that that was a bad thing. I used to think that there was something wrong with me. I had a lot of shadow around anger. And now when I notice it happening, I take accountability for that anger. I'm not projecting it out onto everyone around me, but I am feeling it and I'm owning it, and I am really noticing like how much more empowering it is to just be like, okay, this is just a sign that there's something either out of alignment or there's some form of resistance that I'm meeting, and it's okay. And it's allowed me to have so much more compassion for myself and so much more love for myself when I do notice that theme of anger coming up. And the signature for manifestors, so this is the sign that we are in alignment as opposed to the anger being a sign that we're out of alignment. The signature theme is peace. And peace has been something that I have been wanting and pursuing in my life for so long now. I've been really pulling away shedding all of these things in my life that are getting in the way of me living with more peace. And I became a meditation and mindfulness teacher about 4 years ago. So it really makes sense to me that I'm drawn to things that are related to creating more peace in my life, because this signature of peace is just where I feel the most comfortable. When I'm at peace, I just feel like I'm aligned. I just feel like I'm on purpose. I'm doing what I'm meant to be doing, or I'm just being in the moment. I also have the 10th gate. So I'll put up at some point, I'll put up my chart so you can see it. Maybe I'll do it now. I'll put up my chart for anyone who's watching on YouTube. You can see my chart, but my incarnation cross is the vessel of love. And so these different themes are also very related, like the peace and being present, being in the moment is very related to my incarnation cross as well. But being a manifestor, it's not easy. It can be really lonely. I often feel misunderstood. I'm also a 2-5. That is my profile. So in human design, you have your energy type, which is the manifestor, or there's the other 4 energy types, which I won't go into. You then have your profile, which is, how do I describe profile? It's how you see yourself and how others see you. It's kind of these archetypes of how your personality works. And so I'm a 2-5, the 2 being the hermit. So I love my alone time. I think this is also very true for other manifestors. Even if you don't have a 2 in your profile, I think that a lot of manifestors do feel most comfortable in their own energy, in their own aura. And so they do naturally like to have a lot of alone time. I noticed this with my partner, my husband, Alex. He is also a manifestor, but he's a 3-5. So he doesn't have the 2, but he also loves his alone time. I definitely need it more. I get really angry. I get angry if I don't have my alone time. But yeah, it's like just this need to be alone, to be in my own space, to be in my own energy. And then I have this 5th line, the unconscious 5 in my profile, which is the heretic, which is the hero, the teacher, the guide, the person who's kind of here to come in and save the day. And so it's called a double projection field. The 2 is a projected energy, and the 5 is a projected energy. And so I definitely feel this feeling of being misunderstood in a really strong way. And so yeah, I think this is something that many manifestors experience, but I definitely experience it as being a 2-5. And that again has helped me to really have so much more compassion and love for myself. Just to know that I don't always see myself clearly, and often other people don't see me clearly, and that's okay. It doesn't have to mean anything about my value and my worth. It's just how my energy works. It's just how I work and how I kind of move through the world. And they do say that the 2-5 is harmonious, because you have these periods where you just want to retreat and be the hermit, and then you have these periods where you kind of get called out to come help someone or help save the day. And so it just kind of, it's a balance. It's a balancing act, and I'm learning. That's what I'm still learning, is to kind of be at peace with this on-off energy. And so that brings me to the next thing that I want to talk about as a manifestor, is this on-off energy that we experience. And so we do have this motor center connected to the throat. Like I said before, mine is my heart center. This is a motor connected to the throat, and this is where I can draw on this energy of willpower and motivation and commitment and dedication. But we don't have a defined sacral center. And I don't know if I mentioned, but human design is also based off the chakra system. So this is why it's kind of similar if I'm talking about like the heart center, the sacral center. It's similar to the chakra system. And so we have an undefined, they call it undefined sacral. And this means that we do not have the consistent energy to be working all day, to be doing things all day, to be taking action all day. And I don't have any other motors defined in my chart. I have a completely, if you look at it, you'll see, I have a completely open sacral, emotional solar plexus, and also my spleen is completely open. I don't have any gates or channels coming out of it. So I don't have a lot of consistent energy. I'm very open and I'm very receptive to picking up conditioning and picking up what other people are feeling and picking up other people's pressure or stress or fears and anxieties or emotions. I'm very highly sensitive, and this is something that I'm really learning to not only embrace, but also that I need practices and ways of cleansing my energy at the end of the day or after a pretty intense interaction with someone. I need ways to cleanse my energy. Otherwise, I'm just absorbing so much and it just completely throws me off, and it really impacts my energy and my ability to just be myself and to do what I'm here to do. So I'll give you an example. I went and spent the other day with a friend who's a generator. And I noticed that night I got home, and so generators, they do have a defined sacral, unlike manifestors. So they have this ability to go consistently throughout the day. And I got home after spending like 6 or 7 hours with this friend who's a generator, and I was wired. I was absolutely wired. And I went to bed, I went to sleep, and my husband was already half asleep in bed, and I was just so alert. I couldn't switch off. I couldn't relax. I couldn't go to sleep. And I spent the whole night tossing and turning and not able to fully relax and to fall asleep. And I noticed actually that impacted my husband as well. He didn't get a good night's sleep that night either. And I'm not blaming my friend. They didn't do anything. It wasn't their fault. But I recognized that I need to take responsibility for my energy. And if I'm spending time around other people and picking up all of this sacral go energy, I need to have ways to cleanse and to let that go and to empty out my energy at the end of the day, because otherwise it then impacts my sleep, and then that impacts the next day. And yeah, that was just a really good example of how we as manifestors are not designed to be go constantly. And in fact, I used to think that this was a bad thing. So much of my chart, when I first found out about it, I was like, that sucks. Like, when I first learned about human design, I thought that I was a manifesting generator because I really resonated with this idea of having lots of different interests and this kind of go energy, wanting to try lots of different things. And in fact, I think my last episode I talked about being a multi-passionate person. And so I really resonated with the manifesting generator energy type, but I've come to learn that that's actually not who I am. That was conditioning. That was something that I picked up from society, from the outside world, that I need to be constantly doing and I need to be constantly productive. And then it was getting muddled up with my multi-passionate personality, where I do have lots of different interests. And so it's just interesting that as I've become more aware of actually how I operate and who I am and how I was designed to be as a manifestor, as a 2-5, as an ego manifestor, as this vessel of love, incarnation cross, as I'm learning more and more about it, I'm seeing more clearly where I've picked up conditioning from the outside world, telling me to be something that I'm not, whether it's from my parents, my upbringing, my family. I grew up in a family that is very much focused on achievement and output, and yeah, I was brought up to be a high achiever, and that all served its purpose. That was all part of my journey, has all been part of my journey to then now come to this awareness that that actually isn't who I am, and I can still achieve things and I can still be successful, but it's in my own way. And I don't need to be constantly doing things and be constantly productive in order to be myself, to be who I came here to be. And so it's been this journey of unlearning. And I think that that's what I really love about human design, is so much of it is about unlearning all of the things that aren't us, so that we can fully embrace all of the things that we are, embrace our true essence, embrace who we really are and who we came here to be in this lifetime. And so it's starting to get dark outside, so I'm going to wrap this up soon because I didn't put a light on before I started recording this. But I love being a manifestor. I wouldn't want to be any other way. I love who I am, and I can really genuinely say that now. And that is part of my journey, especially with my incarnation cross being the vessel of love. I have gone through a lot of not loving myself. I have gone through a lot of body image issues. I also have the 46 is my personality sun, which they say is the most important gate in your chart. And it's all about the love of the physical body. And I have dealt with a lot of body image issues. I've dealt with a lot of self-worth issues. I've dealt with a lot of chronic stress, which was due to doing too much, trying to act like a generator or to be someone that I'm not. I forgot what I was saying. Oh, yes, so much of my journey is about learning how to love myself. And then I feel like this is what I'm really here to show and teach other people. I think that this is part of the reason that I came into this body, into this vessel, into this energy type as a manifestor, is to demonstrate to other people that you don't have to fit in. There's no such thing as really fitting in. If you don't belong to yourself, then you don't belong anywhere. And to learn to really embrace my energy, to embrace the seasonality of life, that I do have these on-off periods, these rest cycles where I do really need to rest and allow myself to just do nothing and to really let everything go. And then to trust that I will get the energy and the urge to then do the next thing, to create some kind of new initiation in the world, or to bring some form of new inspiration to life, and that I can trust that. I'm really learning that, and I'm still learning, and I think this will probably be a forever journey of learning to really trust that, trust myself and trust my energy and trust how I work. But I do love being a manifestor, and I hope that regardless of what energy type you are, I hope that you can learn to love who you are and love your energy and love your chart, because that is how you were designed to be. That is who you came here to be. And we all have our own unique role. We all have our own unique way of expressing ourselves and expressing what it is to be human. We all came here to be the unique being that we are. And I think this is what the human design system really shows us, is that no one person, no one human being is alike, and that this is the science, this is the system of dehomogenization, differentiation. This is the system that really shows us that we are not meant to be the same, that we are also unique. And so, yeah, I hope you found it interesting listening to me share what it's like to be a manifestor. And if you'd like to hear more, like I said, did I say? I don't know if I even said, I have a podcast with my friend Rafaela, who is also an Ego Manifestor. She's a 2-4 Ego Manifestor. I'm a 2-5. So we have a lot in common, but she does have that direct channel from her heart to her throat, making her an Ego Manifestor. So it's just so interesting to see how our different energies operate, how even though we have a lot of similarities, we're also very different. But she and I have a podcast called Led by Life, where we are doing a deep dive into human design and the gene keys, which is also another kind of system that has come out of human design. And it is just, it's amazing. I've learned so much so far. We're 20 gene keys in. We're going through every single one of them. So we have these in-depth conversations. So if you'd like to hear or learn a little bit more about human design or the gene keys, or about me and my experience with the system, then I'll leave that all linked below. But yeah, I'd love to hear from you. What is your energy type? What is your profile? What is your incarnation cross? I feel like incarnation crosses are really fascinating, really interesting. So I'd love to hear more from you if you're watching. And what is it that you love about who you are? Whether it's related to human design or just in general, what's something you love about yourself? Because this is, like I said before, this system has really helped me to, it has been a journey of learning to love myself, which will be a forever journey. And you just keep learning more and more and more, and there's always something new to learn. So yeah, I'd love to hear from you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And I look forward to talking to you next time. Bye for now. You're so gorgeous. I love you. You're so sweet. Yes, you are. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it brought you some calm amongst the chaos of life and reminded you just how worthy you are. Thank you for being here and being you. There's no one else just like you, and I'm so grateful to have you here, and I look forward to speaking to you next time.